Where are you at present located?
Sir, in Indore.
Indore, good. So we are in Delhi, and we are happy to talk to you. Anjali, I see that you have already appeared last year in civil service interview.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your subject was same?
Yes, sir. It was same.
What was same? Now, from your last year's experience, the civil service interview, how much do you think you are more prepared or better prepared than last year?
So, if I have to compare, I would say 30 more percent, 25 to 30 more percent.
Oh, you are in terms of percentages. Good. How much marks did you get in last year's this interview?
Sir, I got 149 marks.
Repeat it.
149, sir, 149.
149. Good. So 30% more you can hopefully add to your interview this time. Good. Very good. So your academic background, as I see it, is computer science
Yes, sir.
from the Institute of Science and Technology, Medicaps.
Yes.
So what is this special attraction for civil service examination after requiring such a good qualification in computer science?
Sir, it's true that software is a booming field right now. And sir, I sat in my placements as well, but finally I chose to prepare for civil services. Sir, because I have always been attracted to the way the administration and the various government ministries they function. And so secondly, I have been following quite a few civil servants and the transformational work that was done by them. So that has really inspired me. Sir, if I may quote the example of Mrs. Harshika Singh from the Tikamgarh district, she was an IAS and she really improved the women indicators, including the literacy rate, the IMR, MMR.
So you have some role models before you. You
Yes.
have some role models before you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what are the aptitude you find attractive in your role model?
Sir, firstly, I find them to be very calm and composed as personalities. And so secondly, they're very dedicated towards the work that they are given charge of. Whatever be the challenges, they are ready to take it on and deliver their best.
If I ask the same question differently, what are the civil service aptitude? What aptitude are expected in a civil servant?
Sir, I would say objectivity is one of the important aptitudes in a civil servant. And sir, to be impartial, not just to be seen, but also in the conduct. And sir, I think compassion and empathy, because we have to work at the ground level.
But don't you think all these aptitudes or characteristics should be there in any administrator, any manager, any service provider, any social service activist, or for that matter, even a politician?
Yes,
so what is so unique about civil servant?
Sir, sir, what differentiates a civil servant from rest of the people working in the public sector area is that for civil servants, the duty to serve the society comes first, and then would be their own personal lives or other things would be secondary.
I still feel that these two qualities is from personal life to whatever you're mentioning should be in every administrator or manager or team leader or a leader. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. So, the related thing is that in the government situation, when we call a leadership quality should be there in a government servant. What does it mean? What does it include? What it should include?
Sir, for a leader, the foremost thing is that he or she should have a vision that is for the long term. And so secondly is the ability to lead from the team from the front. So a leader is somebody who doesn't budges down when there are adverse situations. Rather, he motivates the team and he leads them. And sir, this thing we also saw during the COVID-19 wave. And I'm also reminded of Mr. Iqbal Singh Chahal, who was the commissioner of BMC that time. And he was faced with a very adverse situation at that time. So therein he showed a very good.
Have you heard of Kumbh Mela? Kumbh Mela?
Yes, I have.
I'm talking a particular Kumbh Mela at Allahabad, and the event was managed by the district administration. So they were awarded some prizes also for the best management. Can you, from your knowledge, if you have any on the subject, can you tell me what are the best takeaway from the management of Kumbh Mela at Allahabad?
Sir, I have not actually followed that how the entire management was done during the Kumbh Mela. So exact details would be difficult for me to point out.
Okay. Now there was recent Kumbh Mela in Dehradun during the COVID period. And it was as they say, it was a peak of the COVID-19 infection spreading. And there was certain opinion that because of COVID, this Kumbh Mela should not take place. But they continued and successfully continued. Do you have any idea how they managed that?
Sir, as far as I remember, in Uttarakhand, when this COVID was there, and there was simultaneously also the Kumbh Mela, sir, it was reported that after the Kumbh Mela ended, there was a huge spike in the number of the infections, and it was somehow not considered to be in good light that such a huge congregation was allowed to gather when COVID was rising.
So whenever there are such clashes between religious sentiments and the public good, it's a difficult situation. So which thing should, in your opinion, prevail? And how? If you are in a situation like this, how would you like to manage it?
Sir, if there's a clash between maintaining the public health or the public good versus any religious feelings, sir, I feel that though both are important, but public health and the public good, sir, it takes a precedence.
Fair enough. My question was, if you are placed in a situation like, how will you manage it?
Yes, sir. Sir, in a situation and in a big congregation like Kumbh, I would firstly want to know what is the footfall of the people or the pilgrims who are wanting to come and visit the particular area, and I would limit the number of the people coming. So according to the situation. And so secondly, I would also make proper arrangements for their stay in the nearby areas, so that there is no area where they are actually gathering, so that the infection also spreads. And so thirdly, there will be a proper deployment of a police force also to oversee whether all the COVID protocols and the rules are being followed or not.
You are missing certain very important thing in the medical support.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I will
Okay.
also take a stock of all
Okay.
the activities
No,
in
no,
the.
no, no. Don't worry. Don't worry. We are in a situation where our neighboring countries are in turmoil, whether this is Nepal or Sri Lanka or Pakistan. What could be our concern in India? Maybe one or two concerns what you would like to highlight because of this turmoil in our neighboring countries.
Sir, with respect to the Sri Lankan crisis, there might be a concern of the refugees who would want to cross over and come into India. So we can see an influx of refugees if the crisis worsens. And so with and there is also a lesson for India to be very cautious of all the activities that China has been doing in the Indian Ocean as well. And so with respect to Pakistan, sir, there is a regime change that will happen for now. So there the situation is evolving as of now. So we have to keep I think a close watch of all the activities happening in Pakistan right now.
Okay, but I was expecting something more. Keeping a close watch is, of course, is a process. I take you some other situation, and that's my final question. And then I hand over you to my colleague here, Mr. Jayaprakash. The Pakistani Prime Minister, ousted Prime Minister,
Yes, sir.
has claimed or blamed the diplomats from America to pressurize his country to change their stance on a particular foreign policy, say Ukraine or to visit to Russia. He said that these diplomats, called the Pakistani diplomats, and they wanted a change in the policy of Pakistan on a particular foreign issue. As I said, Ukraine and visit to Russia. How far he justified in blaming the Western diplomats and exercising this particular duty or demand or claim from a foreign country? Am I clear? My question is clear?
Yes, sir. Sir, with respect to the pressure from the Western countries over Pakistan to change its stance on the Ukraine issue, sir, I think though there is no conclusive evidence, but sir, it can't be denied that there has been pressure from West to garner the support from all the countries, and somewhere, sir, it is also they are also blamed for the regime change in Pakistan. Sir, as of now, sir, I think there must be some pressure from the West on Pakistan too, sir.
No, I'm not disputing what you're saying. There must be some pressure or there should be proof and things like that. But is he justified in taking this as an argument in his defense?
No, sir. I think that in this regime change, this argument would not suffice, because every country should go by. Sir, because every country should go by their own interest, their own national interests, and they should be sovereign in whatever foreign matters and decisions they want to take. So
Anyway, no. I am perhaps you're not able to catch. What is the duty of a diplomat? If an Indian diplomat pursues some policy of government of India and some other capitals, are they doing something wrong? Or an American diplomat is pursuing a policy in some other capitals, are they doing something wrong?
no, sir. Their primus duty is
So,
to stand for their
if American diplomats are pursuing certain policy on behalf of their government, they are doing nothing wrong. Why the Prime Minister should take it as an argument in his defense? All the diplomats perform the same duty, isn't it? You have to give a thought to it. Thank you very much for talking to me, and I hand over to Mr. Prakash.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Anjali.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Welcome to this mock interview, and I will start with your educational background. You have done a BTech in computer science. So I would like to know from you, can you tell me about the computational analysis? Have you, what paper you have studied? The main paper in computer science. What were your main paper?
Sir, across all the 8 semesters, we had different subjects. In every semester, there were around 8 subjects. So, sir, we studied about computer networks, then about theory of computation.
So I will like to ask you question from theory of computation. What is garden past sentence? In theory of computation, there is a term garden past sentence. What is a garden past sentence?
Sir, I'm sorry, sir. I'm not aware of the term.
Tell me about virtual machine. What is a virtual machine or a Turing machine?
Sir, the Turing machine was designed by Alan Turing, who was also the scientist in World War II and during the World War II. And sir, in this machine, we basically input some of the data, and according to some operations, the computation is performed, and we finally get the data. So,
it had got any relation with simulation? Simulation. There is simulation technology. Have you heard of any relation between virtual or Turing machine and simulation?
I'm sorry, sir. I have not heard of that right now.
What is metadata? You must have heard of metadata. What is metadata?
Sir, metadata is the data about the data. So the information about some data is the metadata. So it's a next level of information about the primary data.
Correct. What does it signify when we use it in a context of a computer language? What is the relation between a computer high-level language and metadata?
Sir, I'll
is that any has it got any application with respect to relational database? This metadata. There is a relational database system. So has it got any application in that field? This metadata.
Sir, I'm not able to
tell me about relational database. What is relational database? What is key in a relational database? There is a term key.
Yes, sir.
So what is key in a relational database?
Sir, key is that component in a database with the help of which we are able to derive the relations between all the other fields which are present in the database.
Okay, thank you. Tell me about a structured query language, SQL. A structured query language. What are
Sir,
the usage of SQL? Yeah.
Sir, the SQL is primarily used in database management system when we are preparing a database management system, and it's used for record keeping. Like if we have to systematically arrange some records and we need to keep them in a database properly for that. And in that, various terms like insert and other operations like insert, select, etc. are also used, and then we perform operations and retrieve the data also using the same.
Tell me something about Zener diode. What is a Zener diode, JDNER, and how it is different from the ordinary diode?
I'm sorry, sir. I have heard the term, but I will have to look upon it.
What is reverse bias and forward bias in context of diode? What is reverse bias and what is forward bias? It is used in solid electronics.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm unable to.
What is artificial intelligence and machine learning? You must have heard of AI. It is very buzzword these days.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, artificial intelligence is that branch of computer science in which basically the machines mimic like a human memory, and they are fitted with some algorithms, and through these algorithms they do basic computations and then they arrive at a result.
Good.
And sir,
how do you link it with fuzzy set theory or fuzzy system? Have you heard of fuzzy system?
Sir,
theory?
Sir, no, I have not read about the fuzzy systems.
Tell me about fractal functions. Fractal functions. FRACTL.
I think you have to move on to something.
Tell me about Indore. इंदौर का नाम इंदौर कैसे पड़ा? किसने बसाया इसको इंदौर को, जहाँ से आप बिलोंग करते हैं?
Sir, Indore was it was a princely state during the time of Holkars, and it is the rise of Indore is credited to Devi Ahilyabai Holkar ji. She founded it, and earlier she made a capital.
Okay, fine. Tell me about frequent motif used in Gond painting, which is your hobby. Gond painting में कौन से motifs ज़्यादा use होते हैं?
Sir, since it's a tribal painting, so the motifs of flora and fauna, like the mahua tree and the deer and the trees which are found in nature, these are the major motifs which we use.
और एक सींग वाला बुल भी यूज होता है उसमें, वो क्या सिग्निफाई करता है? आप देखेंगे एक सींग वाला हॉर्न, बुल विथ हॉर्न इज यूज्ड. व्हाट डज इट सिग्निफाई?
Sir, in Gond paintings, the motifs that are used, sir, they depend. The significance depends from artist to artist. So some of them consider this bull as a deity that they worship.
और एक सवाल अक्सर यूपीएससी के इंटरव्यू में पूछा जाता है कि व्हाट इज डिफरेंस बिटवीन एसे एंड आर्टिकल. ये मेरे इंटरव्यू में भी पूछा गया था. So I will like to ask you. It is my last question. What is difference between essay? You have secured very good award in the field of essay writing. So what is difference between an article and an essay? ये मुझसे भी पूछा गया था इंटरव्यू में. Tell me. ओके, आप इसको आंसर देख लीजिएगा. अंशु सर आपसे पूछेंगे. वी आर रनिंग शॉर्ट ऑफ टाइम. अंशु सर.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Anjali.
Sir, I think you are on mute.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir.
Good evening. Your hobby painting, Gond painting.
Yes, sir.
Am I correct? Have you heard the term Bhimbetka, a site? Bhimbetka.
Yes, sir. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Have you visited?
No, sir. I have not visited it.
Can you tell me who discovered this site?
Sir, B.S. Bakankar discovered Bhimbetka.
Okay, Bakankar. Okay. Is there any award on the name of Bakankar?
Sir, I'm not aware of that award.
There is award, one of the highest award of archaeology, Bakankar Award. Anyway, there is a term nota, N-O-T-A, in nota on ballot machine. So,
Yes, sir.
is there any significance of nota, because the votes of nota are not being counted? So, what is the significance of nota?
Sir, as of today, sir, nota has a symbolic significance that if nota gets the highest votes, then it means that people really do not have alternatives. But since, sir, it's not counted and the next best candidate is chosen and elected, so practical significance, sir, it still remains to be seen. It is limited.
So, in your opinion, what do you want? What is your suggestion? Nota should be removed, or it should be more significant?
Sir, if we remove nota sir, then the situation will be like the previous one. However, sir, I think we can have a system where nota is made functional, and if nota gets the highest number of votes, then there are elections which will be conducted again.
Yeah.
So that would somehow give accountability.
Your optional subject is geography, na?
Yes,
Geography.
sir.
We observed that the cyclone on eastern coast, they are of more power, more intensity in comparison to western coast. Is there any specific reason? Yes.
Sir, the reason is primarily that Bay of Bengal gets heated up more as compared to Arabian Sea because the size of it is smaller. So there are more depressions in Bay of Bengal. And so secondly, the remnants of cyclones from the South China Sea and the Southeast Asia. From there also some remnants, they enter into Bay of Bengal and they form more severe cyclonic depressions.
Okay. 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 Okay.
I hope you are good. Have you heard about the 23rd March
Sir, on
Karnataka High Court judgment?
I'm sorry, sir, if you could please repeat.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. No.
Anjali? Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
On 23rd March 2022, so Karnataka High Court has given a judgment regarding marital rape. Are you aware of that judgment? Krishikesh Sahu versus State of Karnataka.
I'm sorry, sir, I could not follow the judgment of the High Court.
Okay, can you tell me why marital rape has not been recognized in the Indian Penal Code yet?
Sir, the IPC, marital rape is an exception. There is an exception in the definition where rape is defined. So because of that, and sir, secondly, I think it's a societal perception regarding marriage as an institution where it is seen as very pious and pure. So because of that, sir, there are different views and opinions whether marital rape should be recognized or not.
Okay, criminal procedure bill that Indian Parliament has recently passed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is the main features? Can you tell me two major features of this bill?
Sir, in the Criminal Procedure Identification Bill, the Parliament has widened the scope of the footprints and the photographs that were only earlier taken to now even biological samples. So now even DNA samples and signatures and blood samples can also be taken, which was earlier not the case. And so secondly, there was a time frame of 1 year. If the punishment of a particular offense is 1 year, only in that case measurements were taken. But now this 1 year thing has been removed, and even for petty offenses like a traffic rule violation, also the samples can be taken.
Okay, have you heard about few states or in of Northeast, the ASPA was withdrawn. Can you tell me the significance of this withdrawal of ASPA?
Sir, AFSPA there has been reports where AFSPA has been alleged of being violating the human rights. So it is believed that the trust deficit between the administration or the government and the citizens, which was because of AFSPA, that would bridge, and we would see people also more having more trust on the government. So more proactive development and citizen-led development would happen.
Okay, who can declare the disturbed area? Is it central government or is it the state government may declare certain area as a disturbed area?
Sir, I'm not sure about who can declare the area.
Okay, there are some territorial disputes between Assam and Meghalaya, right? And there are 12 points of dispute, and recently 6 points have been settled down. What are the significance of this dispute on northeastern, on democracy of northeastern India?
So the dispute resolution between Assam and Meghalaya is a very good step, because there are certain other states also in Northeast who have such disputes. So it is like one of those first steps that even other states can take a cue and even they can resolve their disputes. And so secondly, I think that there will be more proactively they would engage with each other, and development would spur in Northeast. Because of such conflicts, the development was also restricted. So now it would lead to more active development in the Northeast.
Okay, good. Now, Dr. Uma Hassan will interact with you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah, Anjali, I think this is your last attempt. Is this your last attempt?
Ma'am, this will be my fourth attempt.
Fourth attempt. So you will be having some more attempts, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So by chance, if not UPSC, then what you have for?
Ma'am, recently I was selected in the International Financial Services Center, Gift City in Gujarat. So if not in the UPSC, I would continue to be working over there.
Okay. And what made you come to this particular IAS? Why you want to join this services? Is there any particular your reasons apart from common common assumptions which people have that it is a rewarding job, the self-satisfaction and all? What is your personal take? Apart from all those glorifying things.
Ma'am, civil services would offer me a very wide range of opportunities and very diverse sectors to work in that other areas I will not be able to explore. That was one reason I wanted to join the civil services and be a part of the government.
Okay, so there is one particular problem with females, that is the teen girls, right? The teen from 13 to 18, 19. So whenever they get their puberty, there is not a proper method of using sanitary pads. Then they get first. So recently, one of the state has used certain law in which they will be getting free sanitary pads and all that. So what do you think? I mean, still India and females are using, are not using pads. And it is not being considered as, it is still somewhere considered as taboo that no, we should not use such thing and we should go for the traditional. What is your take on it?
Ma'am, I think that
I mean,
this
it
is
seems that health. Yeah, let me just complete. So, I mean, it seems that still, even after so much of development, females' hygiene and female health issue is not widely went from, like, from urban to rural or from rural to will get wise or regional places. Still, it's been, I mean, we do have to go on for that implementation. So, as a bureaucrat, how you can work on such peculiar things, where you may have policies, where you may have not many, rules and regulations, but on implementation, there is not acceptance of such mindsets. Because I think this is a mindset in which we have to work on. So how, as a bureaucrat, consider your limitation as a bureaucrat. You are not a NGO worker. You are not going to be an NGO worker where you can implement such things. So how you can deal with such sensitive issues where talking about such natural thing is a big, again I would use a term.
Is there any dress code for girls? Yeah. Is there any dress code for girls in UPSC?
Ma'am,
I'm not, you're not audible, Anjali.
So no,
Yes, ma'am.
लेकिन conventional एक बोले.
ma'am,
Conventional
as a bureaucrat, if I have to convince them, ma'am, my first step would be that I would want to personally interact with the females, especially in the rural areas, and tell them about how important the hygiene is for females, because it also leads to many other diseases in the future as well. And
Yes.
secondly, ma'am, with the help of the funds that I would be having at my disposal, I would want to have certain facilities and one-stop centers like KISOPs, where sanitary pads are distributed free of cost. And then thirdly, I think we have our movie stars as our role models, or even the local area stars where who people idolize. So I will take the help of these people to make them aware that how important the menstrual hygiene is, and would try to remove the taboo around it.
Thank you. Thank you, Anjali.
Thank you.
Well said. Thank you.
Okay. Do you hear us?
Yes, I hear.
No. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear us now?
Yes, sir.
Can
I
you hear
can
us?
hear you.
Okay. So we are through with the interview with you. If you want to ask anything specific, you can ask any one of us. From my side, from our side, we are generally okay with your presentation. And of course, certain areas where you require more knowledge about the questions which have been asked. It may not be necessarily the same question may be repeated in the UPSC examination or interview board, because interview boards they can ask their own question. But when it comes to general questions and general knowledge or general whatever subject you call it, current affairs, you have to be more up to date. For example, I try to ask you a question on the role of diplomats. The diplomats are generally supposed to do the same job which the Prime Minister of Pakistan has been criticizing and taking it as a conspiracy, which is not correct, because a diplomat always is a duty bound to pursue the policy of his or government in different capitals. So their job is nothing, it's not a conspiracy. So something is fundamentally wrong. So these are matter of how you look at it. Otherwise, if you want to add something, please do it.
मैं आपको सलाह दूंगा कि थोड़े अपने प्रेजेंटेशन को, ये तो मॉक इंटरव्यू था, लेकिन जो एक्चुअल इंटरव्यू होगा तो उसमें थोड़ा ड्रेस कोड के लिए साड़ी या सलवार सूट, तो उसका कलर जो है ना ब्लू या ऐसा ये सफेद व्हाइट, वो आपको कहीं से भी पता चल जाएगा, तो वो पहन के जाने की कोशिश करना, वो थोड़ा देखते हैं। और सेकंड, आपका जो बैकग्राउंड है कंप्यूटर साइंस, उस पे भी थोड़ा सा एक बार रिवाइज कर लें। आदमी भूल जाता है, ऐसा नहीं कि आपने पढ़ाई नहीं की है, आपका मार्क्स तो बहुत अच्छा है, फर्स्ट क्लास है, तो एग्जाम का आपका इंटरव्यू कब है?
सर May 13th।
हाँ, तो अभी काफी टाइम है, तो थोड़ा ब्रशअप कर लें। जो एक ग्रैंड वाइवा होता है ना फाइनल ईयर में, हम लोग ब्रशअप करते हैं, तो उसी तरह कंप्यूटर साइंस को थोड़ा ब्रशअप कर दें, तो अदरवाइज आपका ठीक है परफॉर्मेंस। जी
And you may remain in touch with the professors and faculty here. If there is any specific point you want to know, you have 1 month at your disposal. So try to make good use of it, both in terms of improving your basic knowledge and other point you mentioned. Thank you. Wish you all the best.